Welcome, I'm Bev Adams. I own an independent paper crafting business showcasing products from Stampin' Up. I made this card with products from Stampin' Up. I sell these products and also a few items to make crafting more convenient. I have the free detailed directions for this project on my website. You'll also find links for the products that I used, and you can just click those links to be taken to my online store at Stampin' Up. You'll see where to find all of that at the end of this video, so don't worry about taking notes. It's time to put stamps, ink, and paper together. I'm using the Label Me Grateful bundle, and this is from the online exclusives. And I especially love this label die, but it's got some fall leaves, and it's got some, I think this is a poinsettia, or you could just make it any kind of flower, so you can really use this all year long. Some great sentiments with lovely cursive font that are kind of large. I like that. You might also want Wink of Stella. My ink is Early Espresso. And you will need at least the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine for the dies. My cardstock is Old Olive. And this is actually the same basic card size, still 8.5 by 5.5, but it's not scored at 4 1/4. I have split that 4 1/4 in half, so this is 2 1/8 and 2 1/8, and they should meet right in the middle. I have a piece of Early Espresso that's 4 by 5 1/4 for the inside of the card, and a piece of Basic Beige that's 3 3/4 by 5. I have 4 pieces of this Woven Textures Designer Series paper. These are each 1 5/8 by 5, and they will layer on top of the 4 pieces of 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. So we'll put them on like so. I have already cut out that lovely die with Basic Beige, and I have done a lot of die cutting already. You get 2 of the dies that look like this, but I used 3 of these for my card. 3 of the oak leaves. 2 of the acorns. And 2 of these Basic Beige, I don't know what those are, berries. Oh, I also have some of the linen thread. 3 of the stamp sets are going to fit really nicely on these labels in the orientation that I'm using it for. You are so appreciated. You're the best, or thank you. And I'm going to just stamp this right in the middle. I didn't mention that I have an envelope that I'm using as a mat for all of these. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these. And you don't need very much of this glue. I've got an 1/8 of an inch border, so if you make the 1/8 of an inch on these 3 sides, should be just fine for the other. And this is going to go on the inside. This is called a gatefold card, where it opens in the middle like that. Gluing each one of these to the Early Espresso strip. Once you have all 4 of those, I'm going to glue them on both sides of these side flaps so that those open up, and you see that whether it's opened or closed. Then I am going to pull in my silicone mat to lay out these. So what I did was I made kind of 2 stacks with a leaf, and they are the same, so if you kind of tilt them at different angles, That will be kind of nice. And then I'm putting the basic beige on top of that, kind of on top of, and I am doing it on the silicone mat because I am going to be getting extra adhesive behind here because I'm not paying attention to where on these lacy leaves these are going. And the same is true of these acorns. I'm going upside down so the acorns are kind of hanging down. Then I'm putting the acorn leaves kind of in the middle to cover up all the stem ends here. I'm also going to put adhesive on the third kind of lacy leaf, and I'm going to be putting this on the inside of the card. So I'm going to take a few minutes to let that dry until that's starting to look a little bit clear. Meanwhile, I'm going to put this on my card front, and I'm trying to talk myself into or out of straightening that up. I think I'll just tip that a little bit, and maybe nobody will notice that it's sideways. What do you think? I do want to put dimensionals on the back of here, but I only want to put it on the right side. So what I tend to do is turn this upside down. You want to do top to bottom. You don't want to go this way. Go top to bottom so this right side stays on the right side. And then you know where you can put your dimensionals. So I'm going to straighten up those words a little bit right here. Picking up this whole set as best I can. Picking up that whole set as best I can and placing that off to the side. Thank you is a little bit, I see that thank you is a little bit wider than my you're the best, so I'm having to be kind of careful about this. And this is coming up in 2 bits. And I just realized I left off the linen thread, so let me do that now. And I want to get a glue dot and put a glue dot exactly where I want that bow to be. So I want my bow to be there, and I want to squish it. Linen thread is pretty thin, so I want to kind of squish it into a ball. Give myself room for my tail and my loop, and stick that on my glue dot. Go around twice. I don't always do this with the glue dot, but because this card is curved, this label is curved, it could easily slide off. So I thought the glue dot method was perfect for this, but you can use that for any bows that you're making. I do want to kind of go underneath the wrapping and tie my bow, and because that glue dot is holding it still, it's easier to tie these in a bow. Most of the people in my generation learned how to tie bows because we had to for our shoes. If you're in the Velcro generation, maybe you didn't. But when it comes to the ribbon, sometimes we get intimidated by it. But when you're working with linen thread, it's just like tying a bow on your shoes. And then I'm going to put, because this one's in front of my label and these are behind, I want to kind of meld those all together by putting this leaf here. So you still get the impression of all of those same leaves going here. And then this one is going on the inside. You want to be sure to have it inside the crease. but I kind of like having it hanging over the edge of the early espresso. So once you get all of the die cutting done, this card is pretty quick and easy to make. Here is the web address where you'll find the free detailed directions and links for the products I used. I also offer lots of resources on my website. Click Shop to see the online exclusives, clearance items, my frequent shopper points, and the products I offer to make crafting more convenient. That includes a cardstock sampler for all the current Stampin' Up! Cardstock and samplers for the Stampin' Up! Cardstock going all the way back to 1997. Click Inspiration to scroll my projects. You'll find the directions and images all the way back to 2011. You may also want to check out the Basics button where I share about stamps, ink, and paper, card cutting bases and layers, and some of my favorite tools. Click Getting Organized to find lots of free resources like case inserts, labels for just about every product, catalog tabs, color tools, and much more. More organization means more time for crafting. Click Evernote Current Products to learn how you can share my Evernote notebooks. The Current Products Notebook allows you to search every item by name, number, type of product like stamps, designer series paper, tools, themes like birthday, friend, baby, masculine, and even individual words. I also share a notebook with retired products going back to about 2015, and there's lots more that are older than that. Click Stamp Together if you're in Ventura County and come stamp at my house. You can also join my team if you're anywhere in the United States. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel and also to my website so you don't miss a thing. Thank you so very much for watching. Bye.